So while we wait for a bit, anyone has any questions about your task this week? If there are any questions, you can ask me now. You can clarify in relation to the requirements, anything to find out that you are doing, whether you should continue doing it or not, and so on. Which is referring to process and design that you're supposed to be working on this submitting by the end of the week. All right, so there's a question from Kai Feng. If we are talking about 5G, do we still need to do for design? Not necessarily so. So the main idea here is to then focus on your whole process. But I'm quite sure when you are highlighting on your processes, you may cover certain physical aspects, like the physical, that there are physical devices or their physical setups and infrastructure that you want to mention in relation to it, you should make sure that you cover those as well. Yeah, that supports 5G overall. Some discussion going into how can we achieve 5G, what kind of technologies behind it that achieve 5G. But essentially, to your question, there is no need to cover for design. Yeah, so it can be either one. I've highlighted this to everyone last week. It will mainly be for you to then decide whether you would like to go for either one alone, or you will have the flexibility to include both as well. So for some of your technologies, you would want to consider doing both instead. So I think everyone is pretty much finalized with their technology per se. So we have Tesla, NVIDIA, Uber, 3D Systems, Huawei, as well as IBM. Interestingly, both AI groups are in this class. Okay. All right, 24 of you. I'm just going to kick off the quizzes tutorial first. This was for last week's session lecture that we covered on internet technology. Yeah. All right, so let's begin. This is your first question. Five more seconds. Who is the last one? All right. Okay, I think most of you got that. Oh, wow. All right. 14 of you, a slight majority, half of you is 13. Yeah, so 14 of you, a slight majority there who says extranet. So you need to remember this, yeah. I can easily tell you this is a question that will definitely come up in your class test next week in relation to internet, intranet, and as well as extranet. Yeah. So why is this extranet? Because as the case, or rather the scenario being given to you is telling you that, so Martin has a company and there are customers outside of Martin's company which is able to access the company network, yeah, for whatever the reason is. But if it's someone outside of the company accessing your network, now that is being considered an extranet. Yeah. If it's only members of your own organization accessing it, of course, then that is referring to something else. Okay. So that is where extranet comes in. Those of you who answered internet, you're not necessarily wrong, but you're not accurate enough to then mention what is the category under within the internet that we are talking about, which is extranet. Yeah. Next question. So I think I do not need to extend the time on this one. It is quite straightforward. But just be careful when you're looking at the answer. Two of you to go. All right, I see a question from Samuel. Class test is next week during the lecture. And Cheng Hao said, yes, thank you, Cheng Hao, for responding on my behalf. Yes, it will be during the lecture. So I will cover, I have a topic to cover next week first. So I'll probably do that. And then we'll go into your tests for the final hour of the class itself. Yeah. Oh, wow. So there's two of you who still go over to the largest network in the world is intranet. So that is not true, because if something is private, remember, then it will never be as large as something that is public, right? So the internet is then considered where the public space is. Next question. And Sardar says he accidentally selected it. Okay. How can a user be authenticated to access an intranet? So you have an access to the university's intranet as well. So how do you access that? So reflect on that and to see which one would apply. Again, I think this is quite an obvious answer, with most of you definitely getting it correct. I'm hoping everyone gets this correct. It's a matter of how fast. So there is still one of you who said no need to authenticate. I wonder if that's Sardar who's going to say that he accidentally selected again. So obviously it's with a username and password. This is the most basic way of gaining to go through authentication to then gain access to an intranet. Yeah. So of course, there's many ways currently. There's multi-factor authentication, which does not necessarily only utilize a username and password. Yeah. So like, for example, when you are trying to access your own bank's network, yeah, your bank has a network, but because us as customers are able to access it and do a lot of and use a lot of the functions and the services which are available, then that is now considered an extranet. Yeah. So when you do that, when you online, when you access your banking details as well, you realize nowadays they use cryptography. You have to view an image. Some of them even go through a fingerprint and stuff like that. Yeah. Okay, next question. It wasn't me this time. Okay. All users of an intranet have access to the same files and web pages. All users of an intranet have access to the same files and web pages. True or false? 5 more of you to go, more than enough time by the looks of it. Okay, awesome. Okay, all right. So 16 of you said is true, and 10 of you said is false. So when you really think about it, in an intranet, for example, the easiest example I can give you is definitely our own university's intranet, like when we all access web app space. Yeah, I log in with my email and password as well. You log in with an email and password as well. We are all accessing the university's intranet. But are we accessing the same materials? Yeah, are we accessing the same files? Are we accessing the same web page? You realize that will be a no. Yeah, so it is definitely a no, because then different users within the organization will have different access. Yeah. Yes, all of us belong into the same intranet, but then our access level is still different. So do read it carefully, and you will find questions like this even for your class test next week as well. Yeah, you have to go through it a bit more carefully. Well, to be fair, your class test, of course, do not have a timer running for each question. You will basically have to run through. It's better that you spend a bit more time to really read through the answers, yeah, because the questions can be quite tricky. It's not as straightforward as you think. Next question. A unique identifier to each for each computer or device on a network. What do you call this? We did not explicitly cover this, but I think it's quite a general knowledge for a lot of people. If you get it wrong or you do not know, well, today you're going to find out. Yeah. Okay, good. Everyone is done before the timer is up. Okay, so good to see that most of you are aware, right? So if it's a unique identifier, it's basically an IP address. So you've probably seen some of it before, that it has a combination of different numbers and digits with dots in between them, right? So it can be a 192.1.0.268 and things like that. Yeah, so that is a unique identifier. Why am I putting this question here? Is just to let everyone know that each of our device has a unique identifier. Because when you connect to the network needs to identify you as a particular to differentiate each connection into the network. Yeah. So then every device, from your laptop to your tablet to your smartphone, each of them will have a unique identifier. Right. So, and that is being referred to as an IP address. Next question. A system containing or connecting a combination of computers, computer terminals, printers, audio or audio display devices, or telephones used to transmit or receive information is called a what? Okay, all done. So not everyone got this. Oh yeah, everyone got this. Good. So when you look into the question itself, remember, as you can see, it does not say anything about a global connection. It doesn't say that you're connected to the whole world. It doesn't say a global. Those are the keywords. Yeah, it's always keywords of either it's global or it's worldwide, connected network of networks, and so on and so forth. You don't see that. So all it's saying is that this can be a combination of different devices connected to each other, right? So that's why that refers to the most basic one, which is just referring to a network. All right. I'm not sure if my question here probably allowed you to identify. I should have put here with N in the bracket by the looks of it, so that you can also think that it is internet. But anyway, good. All of you are aware of that. Next question. Read-only web, information sharing, and company focused are example of which web? Yeah, read-only, information sharing, and company focused. Yuan Ming said, yeah, but mistakenly choose. I didn't realize it's so easy to make a mistake to choose on quizzes. What's the issue? Is it just your own error, or is it something else that I'm not aware of? I always see this every time someone will say that they mistakenly choose it, or you were trying to go too fast and then you accidentally choose the wrong answer instead. All right, I think everyone is done. And Yuan Ming says own error. Okay. All right, we have a new reigning champion. Oh, wow. Okay. Now, the keyword here, yeah, the keyword here is a read-only web. Yeah. Out of all the generations of the web, the only one that is read-only is only Web 1.0. So that's one of your main keyword here. Yeah. Read-only web. Information sharing and company focus. So why is it considered a read-only web? Because at that point of time, the only people who are interested to have a website during Web 1.0 are not individuals, they are companies. So why do companies bother having a website? Because then they want to share information, and it's always information focused on what their organization is doing, right? And they just post it all there into one long web page. It's just for users to go in and read it. And that's basically it. Yeah. So that's why the information sharing part here, I know some of you were taken aback to then think that, oh, wait, you can share information, you can do this, but this is only coming from the company is sharing its own information. You as a user, you are just supposed to go there and read it. Yeah. And that's why most of the information obviously will be very company focused. They're trying to tell you what products they have. They're trying to tell you who they are and so on. So that refers to the Web 1.0. Next question. Web is used as information portal. The web is used as information portal. Is this 1, is this 2, or is this 3? The web is being used as an information portal. A few more to go. So again, you see 1, 2, 3, and none of the above. Okay, another trick question, yeah. So it doesn't give you any other information, if you notice, yeah. It doesn't give you any other details. Do you see that this is now? Does it tell you that users can go and generate their own content? They can share their own content. It doesn't say that at all. Yeah. So if it's only being used for informative purposes, it's only to share information with you. It's just somewhere you go to and you just read information. That is still referring to Web 1.0, right? And I think I know who was the one. Yeah, very proud, Samuel. But did you get it correct because you knew the answer, or you mistakenly chose the answer? That is always something interesting to find out. Oops. And Samuel says, I knew the answer. All right, good for you. Awesome. Right. So because there's no other information provided, it's only for information purpose on what the web is for, it's still referring to Web 1.0. Yeah. There is no explanation here that justifies whether it's a 2.0 or a 3.0 or any others. Okay. All right. Next question. This is about user-generated content and the read-write web. So rather than you see read-only, now you see the word read-write web. Yeah? User-generated content and read-write web. I somehow only remember the explanation for Web 1.0, but not 2 and 3. 1.0 is the easiest to remember. So now you are facing a question that asks you about something that obviously is not Web 1.0 anymore, even though the answer is there. But you still have an option to choose between 2 and 3. Yeah. Okay, awesome. So a good majority, 22 of you went to 2.0. Thank goodness no one chose Web 1.0 anymore after the last 2 rounds of the question. And here, of course, 4 of you chose 3.0, but remember 3.0 is about something else. I'm not going to tell you now because there'll be questions in relation to 3.0. I will explain it later. Yeah. So for 2.0, these two are very, very distinct and specific keywords that you should remember Web 2.0 for. User-generated content. Yeah. Earlier, Web 1.0, you are only allowed to go there and read, and you're only consuming. Yeah. When it comes to 2.0, you're not only consuming anymore, you're producing information, you're producing content. Where does this first started? As early as social media. When social media first started, which is also another very typical example of Web 2.0, most of the content that everyone sees there are not produced by the company. They are produced by the users. So that's why it's called user-generated content. Yeah. Why is it read and write? Because then now you can go in, you can post something, you can delete it, you can edit it. After you post, your friends can then comment on it. Other people can then like it. You know, that's why it becomes a read and write. It's not just for you to go there and consume information alone. Yeah. You can also go there and participate per se. So that's why Web 2.0 comes into the picture. Good. Next question. In Web 1.0, the information that is displayed is mostly what, and the data is updated occasionally. So in Web 1.0, the information displayed is mostly what? Static, dynamic, static to dynamic, or dynamic to static. Another keyword you should affiliate with when it comes to the different webs and their different generations, yeah? Okay, I think everyone is up. Oh, one person did not answer. All right, some movements at the bottom by the looks of it. 15 of you, so it's still quite a good majority. So it's very static because the information is just there and you're just reading it, right? When you reflect on it more, then you realize, oh yeah, Web 1.0, all I can do as a user is to go to the website, open the website and start reading. Look at images, maybe read the content there. And that's basically what you can do. And because that's the only thing you're allowed to do there, it then becomes static information. Yeah, it becomes static information. Dynamic is then something which is the opposite of static. Okay, so static therefore represents Web 1.0. Next question. Which of the following does not belong to the Web 1.0? Which of the following does not belong to Web 1.0? Okay, one more person missing. Who's this? All right, done. Okay, a quick view of your leaderboard. Some changes in top 5. All right, so some of you are saying sites are static, owning content, sites are interactive. So the other 3 obviously are characteristics that relate to Web 1.0, right? Sites are static. I was expecting this to be 0 because we just spoke about it in the previous question. So obviously, sites are obviously not interactive. So when you are looking at this information, you are not allowed to do anything else as a user other than just reading it. Therefore, it is considered to be not interactive at all. Owning content. So owning content is basically true Web 1.0 simply because the content is fully owned by whoever who posted it. Yeah. And no one else owns it and so on and so forth. So owning that particular content is then referred to whoever who has published that website. Web 1.0 is not focused on communities. Yeah, they are not focused on targeting their information to only certain types of people, to only certain communities. That is something done in the next few generations instead. Yeah, so that's why when they say focus on communities, remember social media. And social media is not under Web 1.0. Social media is under Web 2.0, right? It is a platform that gives the users the possibility to control their data. It is a platform that gives users the possibility to control their data. So this is slightly of a trick question as well. Please go through it carefully. There's one answer there. I would like to be quite sure that none of you should be choosing anymore. Four to go. Three more seconds, Sing Fong. And time is up. All right, I've given you a few more seconds. And let's end the question here. Okay. So this is still referring to 2.0. Yeah, this is referring to 2.0. Sorry, I was lagging for this question, but I've answered it. Okay, all right, no problem. Thank you, Sing Fong, for notifying. This is still referring to 2.0, right? Like I said, it's easy to remember and try recalling the main examples of Web 2.0, like blogs and social media. You have some level of control over your own data, right? You are basically the one posting whatever information that you find online. Of course, that's an interesting part about all of us as users. Yeah, we post a lot of things online, then we are complaining that our information is being misused. But to begin with, I will always go back to the user to then say that you are the one who has chosen to post it online. You must understand the risks that are involved, right? So here, that's why they use the word possibility to control their data, yeah? Because then there are certain aspects that are, once you post I will ask everyone a simple question. Content that you post on your own social media, does it belong to you or does it belong to the company? Raise your hands if you are saying that the information that you post belongs to you. The information that you post onto social media belongs to you. Please raise your hands. Who does it belong to? If you think it belongs to you, you raise your hands. If you think it belongs to the company, you do not need to raise your hands. Do we have a majority here? The majority thinks that this information is the one that is the information here are the ones that belong to the company. I'm assuming, right? There's 8 of you there. Maybe I can just quickly ask. VN, are you there?
Yes, sir.
So why do you think that the information you post online, it belongs to the company?
Oh, it belongs to ourselves. I forgot to raise my hand.
Okay, all right, thank you. Mohib, are you there?
Yes, sir.
So why do you think it belongs to the company?
So the control
Sorry?
can't. You're not audible. I can't hear. Your voice is lagging.
You can't hear my voice?
It's lagging a little. Can you come again with the question?
All right. Why do you think the information that you post online belongs to the company?
Because they have the rights. They're code to code encrypted.
They have the rights over your own personal information. That's what you're saying, right?
No, sir. They don't have the rights. Basically, when we share data or whatever, like for example, if we go to Shopee or Lazada, we like they see our maneuvers, they see our activity, and through that,
All right. I don't think I got your last sentence, but never mind. I think I get where you're coming from. Thank you, Mohib.
you're welcome, sir.
All right. Let's find someone who's saying that it belongs to themselves. Sutej, why do you say it belongs to you?
Because we are in control of our data, we can, I guess, yeah.
Okay, all right. You can control the data. Yeah, you can control, but the ones that you have posted online, I think that is the main discussion here. Yeah. So thank you to those of you who has responded. So when you are looking at this, I think it's important to see that social media has changed a lot throughout the years. Yeah. In the earlier years, everything that you post online, your social media provider can use it. Yeah, they can use it almost to a lot of extent, to basically almost to every extent. Yeah. So when you translate it that way, it basically sounds like they own your content. Because if they can use it to whatever reason that they want to use it for, then it doesn't sound like it really belongs to you, right? If you have a car and I'm telling you that, but your car can be used by other people anytime that they need to use it. Yeah, I know the car belongs to you, you bought it, but anyone can use the car. Then you start realizing that, hey, then it doesn't sound like the car belongs to me anymore, right? So social media was as such until about maybe about 5 years ago when those terms and conditions were being questioned back to the provider. So Facebook came out, of course, Instagram, everyone, of course, now Facebook and Instagram is basically the same company. They started coming up with clauses to then somehow show that the users are the one in control of their data, and what they can use it for is very limited. Yeah. So in the beginning, when social media first started, they can use your data for almost anything that they want to use it for. And why do users don't know this? Again, of course, as easy as it goes back to the terms and conditions. When you first register for an account, they give you this long terms and condition, and you're supposed to click, yes, I agree, and then you move on. Yeah. So of course, it always relates back to that. All right, thank you. You can lower your hands. Next question. It defines how Web 2.0 tend to interact much more with the end user and making the end user an integral part. What does this refer to? Which term does this refer to? So interestingly, this question, when you see an answer that you do not know of, most probably that answer is not the answer. So I think Sutish forgot to lower his hands. Okay, oops. There were still 2 of you. I see 27 of you in quizzes. I wonder why. Are there anyone here who has joined quizzes twice? Oh yeah, I see it. I see Brian has joined it twice. So I'm going to move the old Brian and kick the player out. All right, so the social web, yeah? So Web 2.0 has a lot to do with that. When you think about the examples like blogs or wikis or social media, you realize that what they are trying to focus on is to focus on communities, to focus on the social interaction of their users, yeah? So Web 2.0 was able to move it away from Web 1.0 based on those objectives and goals. All right, good, 21 of you all there. Like I said, don't worry about the 2 other answers because it's not something that we have covered. But this is something in relation to social web is something you should be aware of. Yeah. All right. Oh no, what did I do? I see someone's yelling no in the chat. So, oh, Brian says, no, kick the one with the more score. I was not aware of that because it seemed to show me that the one with the more score, lesser score was the one that has a star there and has an issue. But I'm sorry, I've already kicked you out. I think you have to join in back again. I hope you are able to. You were kicked out of the game. I didn't know you can't come back in if you were kicked out of the game. This would be interesting. Let me try kicking the other Brian out. Can I do so? Should I remove this other Brian? Okay, all right. Let me remove this one as well. Oh yeah, there I see you, Brian too. And please answer this question as well, since you just got in. There's a few of you missing. Mohib is missing. Ruth is missing. What's up? Connection issues? Oh, it shows here there's 4 of you missing. 1, 2, 3. Let's see, 4. All right, I'm moving on. I'm ending the question here. All done. Okay. All right, so it's focused on companies. Yeah, it's focused on companies. We have just highlighted this earlier. Web 2.0 focuses on community. Right before I started this question, I just highlighted that and I just mentioned that. Yeah, is read and write, is sharing of content overall in terms of how users are able to share their content. Yeah, but they are not focused on companies anymore. So Web 2.0 focuses more on the users, if you notice. Yeah, so focusing on companies is the one that does not belong to Web 2.0, it belongs to Web 1.0. Next one. Which of the following are advantages of Web 2.0? Choose any 2. Choose any 2. This will take you a bit to at least read through. All right, mostly done except for a few of you. Jamil is missing, Mohib again, and Ruth. I'm assuming it's a connection issue on Ruth's and Mohib's end. And this time with Jamil. I'll give you a few more seconds. My Network by Jamil. Yeah, fine. No one's fault, not your fault, not my fault. So even if I just skip you, you will need to understand that. All right, done. I'll end the question here. My assumption is basically that your internet has some problems, yeah? Okay. All right. Wow. Freedom to post views and comments provide good opportunities for the competitors to give negative comments on other companies. Why in the world did 20 of you think that this is an advantage? Read it carefully, right? When you read it, you realize, oh wait, yeah, well, we can all, competitors can do this, but it is not an advantage. Yeah, it's basically not an advantage overall. Samuel says, I didn't read till the end. Yep, something we all do as users. You don't read until the end. So obviously, anyone can be an author and an editor. This is where Web 2.0 comes in. Blogs and Google are the most important addition for any student, right? So I think even though it sounds a bit trivial and very simple, but then it is quite true. Students having their own blogs and journals, students being able to search through search engines like Google, and you're able to just find all the information is quite an important addition in relation to Web 2.0. Yeah, even search engines started appearing in Web 2.0. Okay. Of course, breach in the privacy, this basically, even reading it, you already know that it's a disadvantage overall. Yeah. I also didn't, it was so long. Yeah, you probably selected it when you saw good opportunities like me. Don't, I have a feeling a lot of you are still stuck with the, do you remember, I recall in school when we used to answer multiple choice, and me and my friends always used to say, the longest answer is always correct. Yeah, the longest answer is always correct. And I'm not sure if some of you are affected by it, and that's why 20 of you decided to go to that answer instead. So yeah, trick question, trick answer in this case. All right, next question. In this generation, all the application on web or mobile will be upgraded with more features. In this generation, all the application on web or mobile will be upgraded with more features. 1, 2, 3. All right. 3 of you to go. Again is Mohib and Ruth. So I'll just leave the timer run till the end. Because with no response from you, I'm assuming that, yes, you have an internet connection, obviously. Internet connection issue, obviously. All right. Okay, so this is where finally we are starting to talk about Web 3.0. Yeah. So remember the other word for Web 3.0. Yeah, remember the other word for Web 3.0 because it's in terms of how interlinked everything is. A lot of your accounts are linked together on Web when it comes to Web 3.0. Yeah. Next question. Characteristic of Web 3.0, available anytime, anywhere, through any channel or device. So I showed you this briefly. It was in your content. It is in your slide as well. If you recall, what does this word, what does it mean? Yeah. Which term does this refer to? Available anytime, available anywhere, available through any channel. Okay, 4 of you more to go. Ruth is finally back. But it looks like now someone else is missing, Saad and Winky, and again Mohib. So it looks like Mohib has officially left the building. But interestingly, earlier I could hear Mohib very clearly.
No, sir, I'm actually lagging. My internet's lagging. I don't know why.
Yeah, as much as you say that, I can hear you very clearly. I think everyone else can hear you as well, and you're not lagging at all. So I'm not sure how does this work.
Sir, I'm actually in home quarantine right now, and we don't have Wi-Fi here. So the thing is that we're using 4G. You can hear my voice, but your voice is lagging.
Okay, all right.
Like mine.
Understood. It's basically, as all of you know, when it comes to internet connection, and since we are on the point of internet, there are two, right? There is your upload rate and your download rate as well. We are mostly concerned as users with the download rate because when you are consuming content, right, you are very concerned with the download rate. So, but not many of us are concerned with the upload rate unless you are someone who streams a lot. Your upload rate needs to be considerably high. So why is this happening to Mohib is where his upload rate is good, but his download rate is very bad. Yeah. Anyway, so looks like Saad is joining you, Mohib, and not answering as well. I will end the question here. Okay. All right. So evidently this refers to the term ubiquitous. Yeah. Do not worry. I know some of you there's 14 of you who went over to Efficient. So this term, available anytime, anywhere, through any channel or devices, is referring to this term, ubiquitous. Yeah. It's quite an important term because there is a whole area that is called ubiquitous computing as well, right? It's how you are trying to embed the internet into everything around us. You're trying to embed the internet into devices, into our appliances around, which you then realize that ubiquitous has a lot to do with IoT. Yeah. Next question. Characteristic of Web 3.0, filtered and shared by friends or trust network. Filtered and shared by friends or trust network. Which one does this refer to? So I will answer your question, Samuel, when we are done with this question, once everyone is done answering. Filtered and shared by friends or trust network. All done. Okay, quite a mix of answers here by the looks of it. All right, so this is obviously referring to being individualized. Yeah. So if you notice now for Web 3.0, information that is being revealed to you is very filtered. Yeah. It is looking into a lot of different contexts because it is drawing information from different things whereby it analyzes the user to see what you like. It doesn't just randomly show you information that is not important to you. If there are some of your friends network that you are closer with, DR information pops up a bit more. If there are friends that you are not so close with, they even though they have updates, you notice that those updates doesn't appear on your feed, right? So when you reflect on that, you realize this is where Web 3.0 has come to, right? So that's why it says here, filtered and shared by friends or a trusted network. Therefore, this is a term referring to individualization. They are making sure that each of the user are being treated differently. Oops. Oh, I wanted to answer Samuel's question and I forgot about that. All right. Right after this. Relevant and contextual information is findable and very instant. So I think by now you should easily be able to guess with common sense and logic which answer is this. And I'll leave the timer running. There's 29 of you. Some of you have just joined class. Oh my goodness. We are already more than halfway through class. All right, I'm leaving the timer to end because I think, yeah, there's only one more of you left. All right, so then this, there's some of you who did not answer it correctly. This is talking about being efficient. Yeah, when you search for information, when you Google, you have to understand that different people who Google and also different people who Googles in different location, right? Your answers will be different because it is relating to relevance and whether it is in a certain context, right? So that's why this is then giving you much more relevant information, and this will all relate to what we call efficiency. Yeah. All right. An exciting new evolution of the World Wide Web provides machine-readable and machine-comprehensible information for beyond current capabilities. Which one does this refer to? There's only one of this that was being explained to you in the last lecture. So the answer is kind of standing out as well. All right, 2 more of you to go. 10 more seconds. I will leave the timer running. Okay, awesome. All done. Okay. All right. So the keyword here is in the second part of the sentence, yeah? Machine readable and machine comprehensible information. So for your devices and your applications to now know what you want, they are able to understand you as a user. Yeah, they link information together. I gave you this example last week as well when I said things that you search, things that you just generally Google for, but then your Instagram feed and your Facebook feeds starts feeding you those information of devices and items you have searched for through Google. Now, this is then referred to as the semantic web, whereby everything is linked together. Yeah. Is the semantic web Web 3.0? Yes, but it has also spilled over a bit into Web 4.0 as well. Yeah, so the semantic web is important because it's trying to link all the data and information together online, whichever that is relevant to a particular user. Yeah, so when your devices can start understanding you and then providing you with more relevant information, that is where the semantic web is involved. It's not just considered the web browser, right? So the answer here is semantic web. Static is 1.0, dynamic is 2.0, so semantic web is the next generation that we are talking about now. All right, next question. I forgot about Samuel's question again. All right, characteristic of Web 3.0. Data objects are linked to other data objects. What does this refer to? Data objects are linked to other data objects. So this refers to which terminology here? Ten more seconds to go. 2 of you are missing. At least Mohib is back. Internet is fine by now. Last but not least is Sing Feng. Oh, right on the dot. All right. Oh, Sam and VN has only 30 points difference. So the next few questions are very crucial. All right. So everyone should realize that this is then called hyperdata. Yeah. How everything is interlinked to each other, which is what Web 3.0 is trying to do for you. Before I forget, so Samuel is asking in the chat to say, what is the difference of ubiquitous and convenient? Yeah. Now, ubiquitous is the one you saw in terms of the definition just now. Anytime, anywhere, through any channel, right? So that is why one of the applications that comes from ubiquitous applications is that you are trying to embed computing into everything around you. Yeah, you're trying to embed computing into everything around you. Convenience, on the other hand, it depends on how you look at it, because to me, the word convenience is a bit generic. Yeah, so it may not necessarily represent ubiquitous alone. Ubiquitous is not necessarily only for convenience purposes. It's a lot for other purposes as well. It can be for productivity, it can be for efficiency, it can be for specific areas for security and so on. Ubiquitous is the bigger word here compared to convenience. Yeah. Well, to be honest, if ubiquitous covers things more than just for convenience, as I highlighted earlier. Yeah. For example, why do you think you need smart cameras at home? For many purposes, not just for convenience, but also for security, also for monitoring and tracking purposes, also for surveillance purposes, and so on. Yeah. So ubiquitous is the bigger idea here behind it. All right. Okay. Next question. Last four. Which of the following enables users to contribute, collaborate, and edit the content? Which of the following enables users to contribute, collaborate, and edit the content? This also exists in Microsoft Teams. It depends on whether you use it or not. Okay. 3 of you missing. All right. And as soon as I say that, Samuel has lost his first place. All right. So it's Wiki. And as I just highlighted to you, Wiki is an application within basically within your channels, within your teams, and so on. So for example, if you go to any of your channels, if you click here plus, yeah, you want to add a tab, as we call it. You can actually just search for or for example, mine is appearing up here. It says Wiki. If yours doesn't appear up there, you can just type Wiki and you should be able to find it. Yeah. See. So you can actually add wikis into your channels, and everyone can, you can always mouse over them to see what they are about. So as you can see, it's written there, draft documents, track meeting notes, share feature specifications, edit in real time. Everyone can share together. Yeah. All right. Okay, I see a few things. Mohib is saying is lagging again. All right, no issues. Samuel is, oh, okay. So Samuel is still trying to mention that it's because he don't remember anything else other than Web 1.0. So hopefully today's questions has taught you a thing or two. All right. Users subscribe to websites like blogs, news sites, and podcasts through it. You can actually subscribe to all these, to subscribe to blogs, subscribe to news sites, subscribe to podcasts through this particular application. What do you call this? The logo and the picture does give away the answer as well, yeah? So this is one of those, if you know answers. Sorry, if you know questions. All right, Mohib has already said he's out, but there is still, I don't know who is this. Is this El Alam? Are you only joining the class now? Oh my goodness. Winky and Moana. I'm giving you guys a few more seconds. Starts with an E. I think that you're the only student in my class that starts with an E, right?
It's not me, sir.
Oh, it's not you?
Yeah, it's not me. I already submitted my answer.
Oh, wait, that's not an E. Is that a B? That's an E. Who in the world is Eddie Com? Should I remove this person? Very suspicious. And this person answered, can I know who Eddie Com is? Please mention and please reveal yourself in the chat before I remove you. All right, so yeah, so this one is, like I said, if you know, this is a particular term. It is one of the, to be fair, it is one of the applications under Web 2.0. Yeah, so for those of you who said Web 2.0, you may not be wrong, but the more accurate answer here is RSS feeds. Yeah. So Eddie.com, who are you? If there's no response, I'll remove you, yeah? And I will consider that a no response. All right, second last question. Audio file that listeners can access through a website, syndication, or RSS feed. What is this called? This audio file is called what? So this audio file is then called. All right, 5 of you remaining. Harini, Yuan Ming, Brian, Seng Feng. All right, awesome. All done. So this is a bit more straightforward. This is the term being used for podcasts. Yeah. To be honest, as of today, if you're not taking advantage of podcasts, you are losing out a lot. Yeah. Podcasts are everywhere, and most of them actually are basically free, unless you go for certain subscribe. Like if you go through Spotify, then of course those are paid ones. But on the other hand, there's a lot of podcasts which are basically free today, and I think there's a lot to gain from them as well. Last but not least, website that individuals can use to post news, opinions, and etc. Answers coming in fast, so I will assume that this is going to end quickly, except for those who have some slight connection problems. Okay. All right, so good majority here. This is then referring to blogs. Yeah, again, I will tell those who, the 3 of you who answered Web 2.0, you are not wrong, but the more accurate answer here is referring to blogs. Yeah, posting news, posting opinions, and so on. All right, we are done. So this is your top 3, Sam, Vian, and Cheng Yu. Cheng Yu came up last minute, beating everyone else. Okay, now we move on to me briefing you for this week's task. We are already in week 6. So for those of you who are not aware, we are already halfway through your semester. Yeah, we are already halfway through your semester. Your remaining semester, of course, is going. What sound is that? My goodness. I'm trying to differentiate between whether this is a sound from the speaker or is it from somewhere else. But anyway, we are already in week 6. As you can see, it's quite straightforward. I'm going to cover this topic this week, which basically means this Thursday. Yeah. And your next weekly task has something to do with you evaluating the life cycle of your technology. What are you supposed to do? You are supposed to determine where the technology currently is. So in terms of your technology that you have selected with your group, you must identify whether they are in the introduction stage, very early. Are they in the growth stage, becoming very popular? Are they at the maturity stage? You notice nothing has changed anymore. The technology has reached its maximum of what else it can do. Or it's actually declining. That means you notice that the technology is being used lesser and lesser now. So that's where decline comes into the picture, right? I will explain this further because, as I mentioned, we will cover this in your lecture this week, right? Explain the previous stages that has passed. So, for example, if you place them under growth, So you will also need to explain when did the technology went through introduction, right? So how many years ago was it going through that phase that now you're saying that it's under growth? If you're saying that now your technology is already has started maturing, yeah, it has reached a stage whereby the technology doesn't change much anymore, the technology has reached its maximum capacity, then you'll have to explain when did it go through growth and when did it go through introduction. Yeah, so that's the idea behind point B. Point C, so wherever that you place it on, you are supposed to predict the next few stage and timing it will take to move on to the next stage. So similar to what I said just now, if you're mentioning that it was growth, point B asks you to talk about introduction. Point C is asking you to talk about maturity. So when do you think it will go into maturity? If it's still very long to go, it's fine. As a group, you're supposed to discuss and try predicting when is this technology going to mature and decline. Is it going to be replaced by something else, or is it not going to be replaced by something else, right? So those are the areas that you're supposed to cover in point C. And last but not least, justify reasons of placement based on articles and market acceptance. So whatever that you're answering in point B and point C, you must obviously support it. And this is where the sources should come from articles and from market acceptance. Market acceptance here can be related to market research. It can be related to what the overall comments are from users and so on. Okay, that is what this week's task is about. So after Thursday's lecture, you will be able to know a bit more clearer in terms of what phases are available in the technology life cycle, and you will then need to determine where do they sit under. All right. As usual, of course, this is given to you today. Your submission is next week on Sunday, right? So you have more than enough time. I am aware that next week on Sunday is the day after Christmas, but because you have a lot of time until then, I'm very sure you can get it done before that weekend comes along. Yeah. So of course, it's totally up to you as a group to then decide when are you going to submit that. Any questions about this? This is quite straightforward, actually. You look at the life cycle. The life cycle is always looking like an S, like a S curve. Yeah. So it's in the shape of S, and you're supposed to determine where does your technology sit. Once you determine where it is, you're supposed to justify. Yeah. So Sardar says all good. Tina has a question. Yes, Tina.
Sir, what if like someone, the ones like who did maybe part A, part B, or part C, any of them like maybe provided like wrong information, because part D is like supporting whatever that was given. What if the information that was given is wrong? Does it mean the whole question becomes wrong too?
I think it's important to define what do you mean by wrong? What do you mean by wrong information?
Sir, because in part D you just support your answers in the other parts, right?
Correct.
So what if like the information provided in any one of the three parts, like if it has one incorrect information, it means that it will make the whole question wrong, right?
Okay. Now, I think I've highlighted this to everyone before as well. The points here are meant to be guides. Like for example, am I going to see you having a separate section called D, justify reasons? Actually, I'm not expecting to see D. B and C, I would like to see it. So point D is just to say, as and when you are mentioning and you are trying to support to say where your technology sits in the life cycle, I just want to make sure that you are providing some support. Yeah. But if your statement then is telling me that what if your support is wrong, then that point that you have will be considered wrong, obviously. But I'm quite sure that because this is a group work, you won't just have one point to support where your technology sits on the life cycle. You will have multiple points. So each of those points, of course, need to be supported individually. So yes, if your support is wrong, then I will only consider that point to be wrong. But I'm still looking at reading the other points. I hope I'm clarifying it for you.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
All right. Welcome. Saad said, can you explain 1B again? Can I explain 1B again? Oh, okay. B and C is connected to each other. So like I said, you have to do A first. Yeah. Once you do A and decide, I'm giving you an example. I would say my technology that I've chosen is under growth. So if I've determined that it will be under growth, what am I supposed to do? Of course, I'm supposed to explain where. Sorry, I'm supposed to explain why my technology is under growth. So this is still under point A. Yeah. When you move to point B, you're supposed to explain the stages that it has passed. If you have chosen growth, Saad, what stages have the technology passed? If you have determined that it is under growth now. Saad? Okay, Saad is not there. So if you have determined that it is growth, right? If you have determined that it is growth, you have to explain the previous stage it has passed, introduction. So which means you have to then identify when did your technology go through introduction. What does C do is you are now going to determine when did it go through maturity. That's it. If you chose maturity as point A, then point B, you need to talk about introduction and growth. And then point C, you have to talk about when do you expect it to go into decline. That's basically it. Did I answer your question, Saad?
Yes, sir.
All right. So I hope if Saad missed any of that, I'm hoping the group members at least can clarify and go through the details. Yeah. Any other question? Any other questions? So the whole idea is to place your technology on a life cycle and to see where do you think it is now, where has it come from, and where is it going? Okay, we are good. I'm closing this. All right, so we have about 15 minutes. I just wanted to cover one or two more of the activity that we have left behind. I think we are done with more than half of you, if I'm not mistaken. So let's get 3 of you done. I notice there's a lot of empty one. I will hunt you down later to find out who you are. So I would like to go with these 3 today. It's who's that? It's Ruth, Cheng Yu, and Cheng Hao. I think Ruth was also the one that was going through a bit of an internet connection earlier. So I will leave Ruth for the last person. If it's possible, yes, your camera should be on, yeah. But let me start with Cheng Hao. Can you go first?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, camera on. Introduce yourself and go through your 3 statements.
Can you see me?
Yes, I can.
So hi everyone, I'm Cheng Hao. I'm from Selangor, Subang Jaya. I'm 18 this year, and my trade statements are: the first statement is I've won a football competition by playing barefoot. My second statement is I gave a speech to 100 audience, and my third statement is I've climbed a mountain. Yeah, that's my 3 statements.
Okay. So everyone can start voting to see which one is the one that Cheng Hao would like to, is a dream or a wish of his. So you prefer to be called Cheng Hao?
Yes, sir. Cheng Hao is okay. It's fine.
Cheng Hao. Okay. So you say you're from Subang, Cheng Hao. Which school did you go to? Secondary school?
I gone to a private school
Oh,
near
I
my
see.
house one.
It's
Yeah.
in Subang as well?
Yeah, it's in Subang as well.
I see. Okay. All right. So everyone pick 3 because Cheng Yu picked 3. Talk about herd mentality. But anyway, so yeah, number 3 seems to be the highest. Ching Hao, which one is the dream and wish?
Yeah, number 3 is the wish. I want to climb a mountain, but I never climbed before.
Why did you come up with something that your brother knows about you?
I didn't tell him that I want to climb a mountain though.
Oh, I see. Wow. Okay. So interestingly, he guessed it as well.
Yeah, I think so.
Where? Why do you wish to climb a mountain?
Because I saw in a lot of documentary like the Netflix, right? I saw them climb a mountain. Like you need a lot of the mentality and you need a lot of the stamina to climb. So I want to try by myself. I see got like the stamina to climb, like not like the wish on the top. Like what's the feeling, all that stuff.
I see.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yep. So that would be something you wish to do. You have won a football competition by playing barefoot. Are you allowed to do that?
No, because that time my shoes already broken, so I don't have any spare football boots. So I just play barefoot lor. And the referee let me, so yeah.
The referee allowed you to play with barefoot.
Yeah.
It's very dangerous, right?
Yeah, it's quite dangerous, but it's like I think it's the second half of the football match, so it's fine one, I guess.
Did you win?
Yes, sir. I win.
Oh, wow. You won. And you mean you won that game lah? You won that match.
Yes,
And then,
yes, sir.
I see. All right. You've given a speech to 100 people. What was that about?
It's like a competition. Yeah, it's a competition. Like it's a public speaking competition. Because like in my class, if I can remember, because the teacher just suddenly asked me to do it, so I have no choice, have to do it, like that.
So you're doing, but what was the speech about?
The speech is about something like your dream, your dream about, yeah, your dream, the title. So everybody have to speak about their dream,
I
about
see.
the title. Yeah.
Who is the audience?
The school, the teachers, the principal.
I see.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much, Cheng Hao.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Cheng Yu, camera on, introduce yourself. I see mountains here as well. Okay. Cheng Yu, you are muted.
Hi sir, my name is Tong Cheng Yu. I'm 19 years old this year and I'm from Selangor, same as Cheng Hao, and my 3 statements are: I fed a stingray. It is a unique and fun experience, and I ran a marathon with shoes that have broken, but they're not broken. They have no soles. The soles were torn, were like broken, so I tore it off. And the 3rd statement is I climb Kunlun mountains. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So, are both of you in the same house?
Yes.
In different rooms, is it?
Technically we are in the same room right now. My brother just
Oh.
mute his mic so I can talk.
I see. Okay, all right. All right. So for both of you, attending class really feels like attending class together and sitting side by side.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So everyone has voted. No, there's only 9 of you who voted. Where did the rest go? And interestingly, mostly has gone to the mountain one again. What's up with you all at mountains, man? 14, yeah. 14 of you have, 14 of your classmates have voted. 17 has voted for the mountains. Which one is the dream? Cheng Yu?
Yes, the third one is the dream.
Why did both of you choose to talk about mountains? Oh my God.
No, my brother chose to talk about mountains, but I specifically said I wanted to climb the Kunlun mountains in China because it's very snowy there, and I heard a lot of rumors in Kunlun mountains about like the legends there.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Where in China is this?
In Xinjiang, like in the western China.
Oh, okay. Then explains why it's very. That explains why there's a lot of mountains there, because it's already bordering with Tibet and Himalayan and so on and so forth. Okay. Interestingly, how do you find out about it?
Well, I studied before Chinese history and I learned about the Kunlun Mountains.
All right. Okay. You fed a stingray. Where was this?
In Taiwan. When I was in Taiwan and I got to feed a stingray and I put my hand under the water and the stingray went up all the way to my arm and
Wow.
it felt very slippery, but it was very nice.
As far as I'm aware of, stingrays do not have teeth, right?
They have.
Oh,
It's quite sharp. It's quite sharp.
but you said
I
your
did not
hand
feel
went
it.
on. But your hand went
My
all the way
hand,
in.
yeah, it went all the way into the water and the stingray, I can feel the stingray. Their mouth is actually under their body. It's like the stingray, all the skin went up all the way up to my arm here, and the food was on my hand. The zookeeper taught us how to feed the stingray, and
Okay.
I put the food on my hand, and I just like it was a wall, and I put my hand onto the wall, and then the stingray rely on the wall, feeding on my hand like that.
I see.
So
Okay.
it was
all
quite
right.
unique.
Interestingly, most importantly, I guess your hand did not go into the stingray's mouth, lah, right?
No.
Really?
No, it was too small. The stingray's mouth is quite small, so it managed to
Okay.
eat the food, but luckily not my hand.
All right. If not, that would be another very interesting story. So the marathon, you decided to continue running.
Yeah, it was actually a school event, school sports day, and that day I washed sports shoes. My sports shoes were quite old already, and then before even the marathon started, I realized it broke. My shoes down there, the heels already spoiled already, so I just tear it off and then just decided to run like that.
All right. And you finished the marathon, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I finished it.
All right. Thank you. So you prefer to be called Cheng Yu, right?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Ruth, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Awesome. I'm not sure if your camera is visible. So do introduce yourself and run through your 3 statements.
My name is Ruth Kiwelu. I'm Tanzanian. And the first statement is I participated in a debate competition and my team won. When I was 16, I went out on New Year's to hang out with my friends and came home the next day, and no one knew that I left the house. And the third one is growing up, I used to be in a dancing group and we would perform at different events.
All right, everyone can start voting which one you think is Ruth's dream or wish. So Ruth, you said you're from where in Tanzania?
Dar es Salaam.
From Dar es Salaam itself. I see. Grew up, born there, raised there.
Yeah.
I see. All right, awesome. So this is quite divided in terms of the votes for now, but a slight majority for number 3 by the looks of it. Growing up and used to be in a dancing group. I'm not sure how everyone seemed to know this, but I'm not sure just by looking at you, they know that, okay, you are probably not in a dancing group yet. So which one is the dream and wish, Ruth?
The dream is actually when I was 16, I went out on New Year's to hang out with my friends. I have 3 siblings, so I'm the last born, so they went to university earlier. So I was the only kid at home, so it was very hard for me to just disappear because they just kept on like, Ruth, where are you? So I was at home most of my time. When I was in 7th grade, from 3rd grade to 7th grade, I used to be in a dancing group, and we used to perform at different places, churches, and different events. And for the debate part, I do public speaking and debate, and we actually were invited to go to a debate 6 months early, and we got there and there were like over 50 schools. We thought that we were just gonna get there and be told the statements of the whole debate, but apparently all the statements were given a month before, so all the schools knew what the statements were, but we were clueless. And I was in a boarding school, so we didn't have any electric devices to actually like look up the information. So we were all just panicking and just trying to find out every kind of information we can, so that if the judges ask us if we're in the opposing side or proposing side, we'd be able to answer. And luckily, we came out as the winners. So it was shocking
Wow.
for everyone, even more shocked. So yeah, it was a very scary yet exciting experience.
I see. Very interesting indeed. Would you say luck played a lot of role in it, or it was your own effort?
Well, I'd like to say that we were very social, because our social skills actually were the ones that helped us to know that, oh, other schools actually know what is going on, because we were so if we never actually interacted with other people, we would have just gone there blank, not knowing.
Clueless. Yeah, exactly. What dance was this? What type of dance was this when you were in a group?
So my dad is a pastor.
Oh, okay.
He owns a church.
I see.
It was more of a church thing, so we just used to perform in different churches. So, yeah.
All right. I get that.
I don't dance anymore though, so
well, you already have an invitation by Tina, so then yeah, you can see what's going on there. Thank you so much, Ruth. All right. Awesome. So we'll stop here. I'll see you guys for the lecture on Thursday. I've already given the feedback for last week's task. So please.
Sir, you are muted.
So you are muted.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Now,
Okay, I think I dropped out of the call or something. So, as I was saying, yeah, make sure you go through and run through the comments that I've given and work on that. And that's basically it. So once you're done with your attendance, you can go. Thank you very much, everyone. Take care, stay safe. I'll see you on Thursday. Oh no.
Sir?
Yeah, something is wrong. Hold on. I have to do this again. Were you going to ask about the attendance, Tina?
Yes, sir. I was gonna be like, I can't see anything.
Oh, you can't see anything. Can everyone
Yeah.
see the share screen?
So I think your computer is lag. So we just only see like the attendant, and then we could see the code. Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right. Hold on, yeah. Let me do this.
Now it's fit. Okay.
Okay. So for those of you who cannot see the screen for whatever the reason is 246. Yeah, the code is there. And only now that my chat is loading, yeah, my connection dropped just now. So Samuel, you're correct.
Thank you, sir. Bye bye.
Bye. See you. I am the camera is coming from a different device while my microphone is coming from a different device, my own device. All right, awesome. Thank you, everyone. Take care. Stay safe. Bye. I gotta leave this class because there's another lecturer coming in as well.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Take
Have
care.
a nice
Bye.
day.
Yep, you too. So Samuel, if you have a question, I think we either chat in your private channel or we try scheduling a time where for you to meet me if you want to. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, sir.
All right. Okay. Bye, everyone. Take care.